What is going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a simple trade breakdown of 0 DTE Friday, how I took about a 30% scalp on Tesla options at the open and called it a day there. Obviously left some money on the table, but we have to realize that in order for us to have big green days, we also have to have those small green days. So sizing down is definitely important in this market. So first we're just going to take a look at all of my order fills along with looking at the actual Tesla chart itself. So give this a minute here. Thinkorswim is a bit slow because it is undergoing some updates right now. But we'll start. Okay, there we go. So first things first, we can see that our P&L on Tesla was $185, nothing crazy. And then our entries were 632, 633, 634 on 0 DTE. If I'm trading something like Tesla, I like to size super small and then try to get those 30, 40, 50% profits on that trade. If I decide to size up, it's usually if the market conditions are looking great. At the open, indices looked a bit shaky to me, so that's why I only ended up going with around, what is this, $500-600 position size, around there, and took that quick scalp. So as we could see, what I ended up seeing at the open is that we pushed up above my key level, which was 206 for calls very aggressively. Now, the entry was a bit late on this candlestick because we did have an instant push right at open, and especially at the open, you really want to wait for something like Tesla, just because we could see this aggressive sell-off down to the 205, aggressive push up, aggressive push back down to 205.5, and this is where the options premium gets very damaged quickly because the premium dropped from around 1.9 to 1.2 within a matter of minutes very quickly. So you have to make sure that you're able to size correctly and have high confidence. And I did have high confidence in this trade. That's why I slowly averaged into it as we pulled back. So first entry 632 at 1.9 average. So that's around this range. Obviously continued up, but I held this trade a bit longer. And then once we go back here, 633, 634, 633, we ended up pulling back at it, and then 634, this kind of hold of the moving average right here was the next add. We also pulled back a bit below, but we're also holding this major MA. So that is another reason to continue to hold the trade. My stop was down here at 203.7 because at that point, the trade is just invalidated. Now, what I like to do is usually when I'm trading something 0 DTE, start with small size and then add size into the position. So in most cases, when we pull back here, I had a starter position here, added here, added here. My stop would be down here, and on the next trade that I had more confidence on, I would just add more size to make that loss back and then some, as long as I'm looking at the right setup. So when you look over here, usually if I was very confident on the day, I would have probably added to this break, but I didn't really add much to this trade just because, like I said, we're seeing this indecisiveness at the open, and Tesla has been getting beat up the past few days. So we see around here 634 was the next entry. Now at this point in time, there's two different types of traders. The trade reversing goes against them, and they're like, oh no, I need to get out of this trade. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then there's a trader with a plan. So you always want to make sure that you have a plan for your trade, like I said. Buyers start picking back up here. As we could see, let me just zoom out really quick and take a look at SPY. As we could see, if we look at SPY as well, we had aggressive buying pressure on SPY. And that is another reason why I decided to play the upside on Tesla, because we seen so much strength with SPY holding down here at the open and kind of consolidating around yesterday's low, we ended up seeing this pop around 644. But around this 635, we've seen another spike up to high of day. So we're kind of in this sideways range. And we obviously knew once we broke up out of it that we would see upside, which we also caught that. Sativa caught that, but I didn't end up trading that. So as we could see, 639 was the exit. So 639 was right here. Obviously, pulled down here to the MA, held it strong, back move to the upside, broke high of day, pushed toward 208.5. I tried to actually sell on this move by joining the ask, and I didn't get filled. Now, there's two things or two different ways you could go about not getting filled on the trade and what I usually do. Usually when you don't get filled, you always want to make sure you set a stop trend, especially on a candlestick like this where we push up very, very strong. You always want to try to get out on this move because the premiums get destroyed on a pullback like this. Now, luckily, we ended up pushing higher and the strength just came right back in, and I was able to take my exit there. Now, getting out of this trade at that point, I ended up selling the contracts at an average of 2.18 per contract, 4 different contracts, and that was a complete exit. Obviously, we pulled back, and if we zoom out for the day, the contracts, of course, wanted to run to over $400 per contract. But as you can see, like I said, this wasn't a trade that I was going to add size into because especially on relative names, we weren't seeing any clear direction or clear decisiveness for the day. So that's really the trade recap on how I made $185 on Tesla. I'm going to start doing more of these videos going in depth and more in detail. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Get me to 400 subscribers. Once we get there, I'll post another video. Appreciate everybody watching, and I hope you gain some value. Good luck this upcoming trading week. Peace.